Good day, dear esteemed viewer, and welcome to our today's edition of Citizens and the Law on ABS Television Channel 2 for Oka, on Star Times 113 and Metro Digital 29. In our today's edition of Citizens and the Law, we are going to look at Nigerian democracy and the rule of law. And I have with me here in the studio two gentlemen from various professions to get the I's and T's dotted and crossed vis-a-vis a provision of questions, of answers to all the questions to make the day what it should be. The topic for today is Nigerian democracy and the rule of law. And I have with me here in the studio a very popular professor and a personality in Nigerian Red Cross, our Professor Peter Mekakachi, a gold medalist FCAI. He is also the national president of NACAMA, the Vice President, Red Cross Anambra State, a humanitarian and political analyst. Prof, you welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
On the other end is Barrister Chika Okeke, a gentleman in the bar and the bench of Nigerian judiciary, of course, a familiar face on this program. Counsel, you welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
Okay, my name is Jude Mascot Obiagu, the presenter of this program. Gentlemen, we're not going to waste any time in hitting the hammer at the head of the nail into this program. We may want to start from looking again at democracy in a way of definition. And I would like the Prof to tell us, what's your own definition of democracy?
Democracy, from time immemorial, we are taught that democracy is a civil government of the people, by the people, and for the people, in a system of elective representatives. And in that elective representatives, there are three arms of government: the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. That is what we understand as democracy.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. And we talk about this rule of law, which has, again, three arms of the rule of law. But I may want the lawyer, because most time when there is problem, people come to court to have you give some interpretations and apply the law. What is the rule of law? Counsel?
Rule of law as a concept is a very complex principle in law. In a nutshell, rule of law demands that everybody in the state, everybody in the country should be subject to the same system of law. But you find out that the concept of rule of law, especially in a constitutional democracy like Nigeria, is founded on three basic stakes. And the first one is equality before the law. And what this particular stake is all about is the fact that law is not respecter of any person. And then the second arm, or the second stake, upon which the principle of rule of law is founded or is standing, is independent judicially. And this connotes that there must be a separation of power between the arms of government in such a way that no arm of government should interfere with the functions of the other arms of government. And then finally, the last stake upon which the principle of rule of law is founded is citizens' fundamental human rights. And what this means is that whenever the fundamental human rights of the citizens are violated by anybody, whether by the state or the agents of the state, that the person will approach or can approach any court of the land for the enforcement of his fundamental human rights. So in a nutshell, in a constitutional democracy like Nigeria, rule of law is the most important thing. It is the alpha and the omega, is the beginning and the end, because without rule of law, there can be democracy. And without rule of law, there can't be constitutional democracy. So in a constitutional democracy like Nigeria, rule of law is very important, because without it, there can't be a constitutional democracy.
Yeah, thank you very much, Council. Professor, I come back to you. We have tribes in Nigeria, we have religions in Nigeria. He has just talked about rule of law as very vital in Nigerian society, also in Nigerian democracy. Now, upon all this, ethno-religio interests, we want to talk about it. How has something that has to do with tribe and religion affected Nigerian democracy?
Precisely, the ethno-religious problem of Nigeria is a quagmire. It is the bane of Nigerian nation. It has brewed despotism. Are you getting me?
I'm following you.
Nepotism, despotism, favoritism, segmental tendencies of people, and parochial interests. It has been a very big problem. And also, there is this marginalization of a segment of the nation, and the obsession that there is this narrative of the owners of Nigeria, as if to say others are passengers or pedestrians, and they're not stakeholders in the system of Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Yeah.
Are you getting me?
I'm following you.
The ethno-religious thing, it has affected physical federalism,
Yeah.
true federalism, and also federal character.
Yeah.
Federal character compliance is not there. There is no federal character compliance. As I'm speaking to you now, 100% of the Security Council, there is no Igbo man there. Are you getting my point?
I'm following.
So is this ethno-religious thing, sentiment, is a parochial matter. And it is very unfortunate that our people in a country, we were the stakeholders, we got the independence, we got everything, that we are not a major stakeholder. Even in a security matter, we are not there. At all. We are marginalized entirely. That is what I want to let you know. So it's the bane of Nigerian democracy.
Okay, Council, you are a very young lawyer, and also you have knowledge of history and politics in Nigeria. You used to hear this, there's a state that said that they are born to rule. Has this born to rule anything to do with ethno-religious interests in Nigerian democracy?
When you go down the annal of Nigerian history, you will find out that this issue of born to rule has always been with us. It was a deliberate creation of our former colonial masters, because they realized, historically, when they came into Nigeria, in the north, they find a kind of a centralized system of government. In the west, they equally find something that is somehow centralized. But when they come down to the east, it was not centralized. It was a form of democracy. So they find it very difficult to manipulate and to be in charge of the Eastern Legion. And that's actually where the problem started. When they look at our political background, they realize that it will be very difficult to deal with these people, because it appeared to them as of that time that these people, they equally knew what they knew then. So they were trying to manipulate, and they realized that the only way they can do this is when they empower those people they think they can easily manipulate. And that was actually happened. So historically, they continued, while the colonialism lasted in Nigeria, they continued to empower those particular legions, they can always manipulate to take charge of the country. So that's the historical basis of this born to rule mentality. And that has continued even after the departure of our colonial masters, because they have set structures in place that will sustain the supremacy of those people that always think that they were born to rule. And that structure which they put in place at their point of departure has continued to be in existence. And I tell you, until that structure is dismantled, this issue of born to rule may continue to be. And so, but the structure itself cannot dismantle itself. People must stand up against that structure and
thank you.
Possible
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Professor, this born to rule issue, I don't know if you agree with the lawyer, because I see it as a political grade. We must always be on the seat of power, because we have the gun and we have every other thing. What's your own analysis of this born to rule?
I've earlier told you that there is obsession, and a narrative of the owners of Federal Republic of Nigeria, a segment of people who say that they are the owners of this country. So, and it is also in consonance with born to rule. If somebody is claiming an ownership of a nation where you are a good citizen, he says born to rule.
But in the first place,
and that is the marginalization.
Nigeria is Nigeria a nation?
Mm-hmm. Let us say Nigeria is a nation for now. I don't want to be apolitical, but if I have to be apolitical, I'll tell you that the Nigerian nation, from amalgamation of 1914, ended in 2014. Yeah. There must be a new Nigeria, and there must be a restructuring to show that the new Nigeria has emerged. The new Nigeria has not emerged. Yeah. Thank you.
I want to come to you now as a Red Cross chieftain and a philanthropist humanitarian. Can you let us know if there is any record of casualty in the postponed Saturday, 16 February 2019 election in Nigeria?
Okay. If there are casualties, I say if, because I am apolitical. In the question you asked me, I say if there are casualties, it is the mandate and sectoral responsibility of Nigeria police force to tell us the number of casualties all over the nation. It is their responsibility. The Nigerian Police Command must tell the nation the casualty. It is their mandate. Each organization or each statutory body in Nigeria has what we call sectoral responsibility. It is their sectoral responsibility to tell us how many casualties, because if we see casualties in Anambra State, what of Kaduna, what of Zamfara, what of Borno? We have a federal police. And our police, there's no state police in Nigeria, for us to tell Anambra police to tell us. Let the federal police say how many casualties they have.
Okay, dear esteemed viewer, you are watching Citizens and the Law on ABS Television, Channel 24 Oka, on Star Times 113 and Metro Digital 29. And doing justice to the topic, I have Peter Emeka Kachi, a professor and gold medalist FCAI. Also, I have Barrister Chika Okeke doing justice to the topic of the day. And I think just before we continue, let's embark on a little break. Yeah, welcome back. Professor Emeka Kachi, Nigerian security forces are accused of committing human rights abuses, including thousands of extrajudicial killings, illegal detentions, torture, and arbitrary mass arrests. What's your take on this?
It is very unfortunate if such have happened in this Nigeria, which is a true federation, which is a federal republic of Nigeria. Because if we say a true federation, the true federation was between 1960 and 1966, before the military purge, the coup d'etat group took over Nigeria, put unitary government. From there, true federation left. From there, true democracy disappeared. So, and they imbibe in every Nigerian a unitary system of government. You will see a civilian president speaking like a commanding officer of a military cantonment. It is very unfortunate. Now, we talk about human rights abuses. Yeah. In human rights abuses, it is still that problem of military mentality that will make people to move out and be subjected to a lot of indignities, including loss of their lives. It is very unfortunate. And when a military, when somebody that is a trained military man takes on a civilian, it is a cause of war. He has declared war, which we call casus belli. He has declared war on somebody that is ordinarily innocent and somebody that is ordinarily not a danger to the community. And if you have declared war on a people, whether in a civilian time, whether in a war front, that person has committed a war crime. If you kill somebody, if you subject the person to injury, there is what we call international humanitarian laws, the laws of the Geneva Conventions and the protocols. And when you have done that, you have caused problem. And the problem you cause is that at the end of this, the crimes of those who kill people, we can call them any name, we are not interested. But when they are killed, and when they are subjected to indignities, and when they are subjected to inhuman treatment,
the records are there.
It is clear that the records are there, and they will be arraigned before International Court at Hague on war crime.
While in power.
Because there is a law of what is called the armed conflicts. You don't deal with a civilian like a fellow soldier. If you are a soldier, if you are a navy, if you are a police,
a custom,
you deal, or whatever you have at your arms, and you deal with a fellow Nigerian in that way. Mind you that the crimes are being compiled. At the appropriate time, you will be arraigned before the Hague. That is why people like Charles Taylor, they are still in custody and they are facing trial. And others are still in custody and they are facing trial. Whether you are the head of state, whether you are the Attorney General of the Federation, whether you arraign people, whether you feel that power rests on your table, or you pick the citizens of Nigeria and arraign him, and there is indignity, and there are other things. At the end of your tenure, the immunity will disappear from you. Whether you're the president, you're the governor, or whatever you think you are, you will be arraigned at the International Court at Hague because you have subjected your fellow human beings to severe indignities. You will face the judgment. And if you are found guilty, you will go to jail. Charles Taylor is still there. They thought he's a very powerful man, but where is he today? That is a history for others to learn and to comport themselves very well. That you are armed does not mean you can do anything anyhow. When you do it anything anyhow, people are recording it. At the appropriate time, you'll be arraigned at International Court at Hague.
Okay, Council, recently, about 48 hours ago, we got hint or news that a man or a boy that was coming back to Nigeria, already in Nigeria, but from outside the country. He lost his life to a 5,000 naira dialogue or debate or misunderstanding with a custom officer who was gone down. It's all over the social media. The thing has gone viral. Where do you place this?
Well, that speaks volume of the level of illegality in the country today. I equally saw the picture and the video in social media. So unfortunate. It was a clear abuse of that person's fundamental human rights. And it's so unfortunate when those who are empowered and armed to protect lives are the ones taking people's life, because very unfortunate. And that's the whole essence of a government in a civilized country, to protect lives and properties. So there is no way that young man should be subjected to that inhuman treatment. This one is not only inhuman treatment, but his life was equally lost in the course of the whole saga. So it's so unfortunate, and I think that at the end of the day, that law certainly will take its course with respect to the person who perpetrated that crime. It is an aspect of man's inhumanity to man. There is no reason whatsoever for that particular incident. And I join the rest of the world to condemn that act. Thank you.
Okay, dear esteemed viewer, you are still on ABS TV, Channel 2 for Oka, and the topic is democracy and the rule of law in Nigeria. And in case you want to make a call and ask questions, the numbers are 090-729-72090. I repeat again, 090-729-72090. The other line, 070-627-24192. You can call us from now and ask your questions, more especially as the unexpected cancellation of the election last Saturday. And again, we are warming up for yet another election coming Saturday. What are your feelings? How do you see it? How democratic can you describe this to be? We want callers from very sound minds, like the ones I have here in the studio. Let's just forge ahead. Immunity in Nigeria, going by its meaning and practice, is something different from the real meaning of immunity. When we talk about immunity, we know those that are immune, like the president, like the governor, probably the president of Senate. We have a caller. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, your name and location, then your question.
Hello?
Hello, we are hearing you. What's your name and location? Then you ask your question.
Hello?
Go ahead. What's your name? What's your name? Your name?
Okay, my name is Destiny.
Huh?
From Anambra.
Your name is? Go ahead. I don't.
I'm calling from Onitsha.
You are calling from Onitsha. I can hear you now, but what is your name?
My name is Destiny from Onitsha.
Okay, Destiny from Onitsha. Ask your question, Destiny.
Yes.
What's your question? What's your question, Destiny?
I don't have a question, but I have to say I was so heartbroken last Saturday that they postponed the election. Seriously, I felt so bad. I was thinking that Nigeria was turning into something else.
Well,
many people have many things to do that day, but they postponed the election. Some people felt like crying.
Well, Destiny, that is the feeling of every other Nigerian. We pray that next Saturday such will not repeat again, because definitely people spend a lot of money in an attempt to participate, exercise their franchise. Okay, that's Destiny. Prof, do you have anything to say? Any more piece of advice to Destiny? Is not happy, and a lot of Nigerians are not happy. As an elder, What advice will you give to Nigerians over this disappointment?
My advice to Destiny and others, the advice is also vice versa, including myself, is that all of us should not lose hope. Next Saturday, we will move there to carry out our civic duty, which is our franchise, to vote for the person we want to vote for. No matter the discontent, malfeasance of the electoral body, we will not relent to elect. Let everybody come out. It's an omni gadorum. Come one, come all. Yeah. Let everybody come out that very day. It's a clarion call. It is a civic duty. It's an omni gadorum. Come one, come all. Come out and vote for the person you want to vote for. Do not allow anything. Don't be despair. Don't mind the antics of the electoral body or any other thing. But come out. And let us come out and vote. All of us will be there to exercise our franchise.
We have another caller here. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, my brother. What's your name and then location? Then you ask a question. What's your name?
My name is Kene. I'm calling from Obaru.
Kene from Obaru. Go ahead, ask your question or make your contribution. Your question or contribution, Kene? Okay, Kene from Obaru, we lost you, or maybe just to know your name. That's okay. All right, immunity in Nigeria, going by its meaning and practice, is something different from the real meaning of immunity. I'm coming to you, Prof. Nigerian immunity, we know. The president are immune, the governors are immune, probably the president of the Senate also immune, and some others. But is that what is happening?
The masses are not immune. The common man in the street is not immune and is not favored. Those who are immune are those who are well connected, or those who have narratives, the obsessive narratives that we are the owners of Nigeria. We are the major stakeholders of Nigeria. They are the people that are immune. But constitutionally, are they immune? No. And they're not supposed to be immune. Everybody is equal before the law. But that is the equity. That is the equity. There is a lot of latitude and lassitude of those who are not supposed to enjoy immunity, and they're enjoying immunity. What a pretense, what a complacency in a nation where we are all citizens of a republic, a true federalism. Is that? Where is the immunity? Common man has no immunity. Every other person has no immunity. He does not even have his fundamental human rights. He's not even allowed to enjoy his own fundamental human rights.
Okay, it's gone.
Because we are talking about the rule of law. The rule of law, the law is supreme. The law is paramount.
Yeah.
We appear before the law. How many persons appear free? Only those who are within the masses or commoners, or those who are disfavored are arraigned before the law.
Can we pick this caller? Hello? Hello?
Are arraigned before the law.
Okay.
Are you getting me?
I'm following you.
So you're talking about immunity or whatever. The immunity is not only the president and the governors. Immunity has been extended to those, even to drug pushers. At times you come out on the street, you see them driving with convoy, chasing you out of it. Imagine a professor of medicine like me. You see a drug pusher, a kidnapper with a convoy, chase me out of the road to move. It's not immunity. He has immunity. And you see, and the person has police details.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, your name?
Hello?
Yeah, what's your name and location?
Emmanuel.
Emma, where are you calling from?
My name is Emmanuel from Agolo.
Okay, Emmanuel from Agolo. Okay, ask your question, Emmanuel.
My question is based on that immunity of the thing.
Yeah.
I thought that immunity is meant for those in the legislature and the executive.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I said, I hope that the immunity. I hope that the immunity is meant for the executive and the legislature. Hello?
Okay, that's your question.
My question is,
You talk that the immunity is meant for
My
executive,
question
for the executives and legislatures. Council, you have to, if you have another angle to immunity as where Prof stopped, and then this question, his belief is that this immunity is just meant for the lawmakers and executives. So you can react to that.
Legally speaking, it is only the head of the executive arm of government and their deputies that enjoys immunity under the constitution of the land. But you equally find out that under various acts of the parliament, the head or the members of the parliament, the legislature in Nigeria, and even judicial officers enjoy a form of immunity for whatever action that occurs in the course of discharging their statutory functions. So those are the people that legally enjoys immunity in Nigeria. But you find out that, as Prof. Area stated, there are all other forms of immunities in practice. You'll find out that in Nigeria, for example, the fact that you belong to a particular political party may confirm a form of immunity on you. So, legally speaking, these are the people that enjoy it. But in practice, there are all manner of immunities depending on your status in life, depending on the amount of money you have in your pocket. That is what actually happens in practice. So beyond the people that enjoy immunity statutorily, there are also some other people that are enjoying immunities on the basis of their status in Nigeria.
Thank you. We have a caller here. Hello? Hello? Hello?
hello,
Good evening. What is your name? What's your name? Huh?
My name is Joseph. I'm calling from Anambra. My name is Joseph. I'm calling from Anambra.
You are calling from Amobi. I don't get your name clearly.
Joseph.
Joseph from Amobi. Okay, go ahead, Joseph. Question of solution or contribution.
All right. My question is this.
Yeah?
According to, my question is this. Are you getting it?
I'm listening. We are listening. Joseph from Amobi, you may have to call back again. Okay, you've had very many versions of illegal immunity. We have legal and illegal immunity as far as it is Nigeria. Let's know if you can get this caller. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, your name and location. Yeah, what's your name and location? Emma from Agolo, go ahead and ask your question.
Okay. My question is there immunity when the police have to interrogate the Senate president? This is what happened last week. Yes.
Has the police the right to interrogate the Senate president?
No, as I was saying before.
In the face of immunity?
Yes, as I was saying before, the heads of other arms of government, like the legislature and the judiciary, do not enjoy immunity as the heads of the executive arm of government. Their immunity relates to their conduct or whatever thing they are doing in their official capacity. So a police can invite them and interrogate them. The police can as well arrest them, but provided that they cannot be arrested while they are discharging their functions at the parliament. So they don't have immunity, properly so-called. Their immunity only covers them to the extent that no one can interfere with them in the course of discharging their immunity. So to your question proper, they can be arrested, they can be interrogated, they can even be detained because they don't have immunity in the way the head of the executives, like the president, vice president, governors, and deputies, enjoys immunity under our laws.
Thank you. That's a very good one. Prof, I'm coming to you now. Prof, if every disappointment is a blessing, where would you place the postponement of February 16, 2019 general election in Nigeria by INEC chairman? Is this still a blessing? Because most times when people face disappointment, they say every disappointment is a blessing. Is this part of the blessing?
In sincerity, every disappointment is not a blessing. And let me make it clear to you. If you miss your flight, if you overslept, and you have a business schedule, you miss your flight, and while you were no longer there, the business schedule, which involves a lot of things in your business empire, took place. And you woke up, you rushed to the airport, the flight have left. Is it a blessing? A blessing?
I wouldn't know. It's not a blessing.
It's a misfortune. Every disappointment is not a blessing.
At times it's a misfortune.
It's a misfortune. So when you now talk about a blessing, every disappointment is a blessing. That's a kind of a platitude. It's not a blessing. The problem we have with the electoral body, INEC, is INEC has shown glaring deficiency, ineptitude, inefficiency. And apart from that, INEC has shown a lot of complacency. Their lackadaisical attitude is an indication that they have no capacity building, they have no contingency to manage the situation. Let us forget about the platitude of trying to say that it's a blessing. It's not a blessing. Nigerian nation has incurred colossal loss in productivity and incomes of the nation and the citizens of the nation. It's not a blessing. We lost a lot of money over the weekend. Now, by 12 midnight, INEC was still assuring. I was on channels. I was monitoring the election. They were still assuring us that the election will take place. Between 12 to 2:30, they told us that the election will not take place again. Did their mother die? Did they lose their mother between 12 midnight to 2:30 a.m.? What was the reason why the election was suddenly postponed with a colossal loss? Travelers, look at schools closed to come down, a lot of people. And the worst is the NYSC coppers who were left in the vagaries of harsh weather, useless environment, without taking care of them. Where is the contingency of the INEC? Where is their capacity building? Chief Michael Ani conducted the election under FEDECO in Nigeria. It was very successful. Honorable Justice Victor Oviewisi of the blessed memory conducted the election in Nigeria. It was successful. Our own Humphrey Nwosu conducted the election in Nigeria. It was very successful. The exponent of option A4. Politicians are afraid. They don't want to be sincere because they are looking for electoral frauds and fraudulent activities to maneuver and manipulate others. Option A4 would have been the best. The exponent of option A4, Professor Humphrey Nwosu, should be given his award. He deserves Grand Commander of Federal Republic. If you are giving it to Abiola, it should be given to him. What is good for the goose is also good for the gander. This man devised this system. There is no fraudulent electoral process. If you win, you know you win. Nobody goes to court. Not this card reader. Card reader is not working. All these things are just manipulations to continue to rig elections or to remain in power or other things. What is happening to us? We must be sincere. We are not technologically advanced. If you bring card reader, at times there is no network on the card reader. Why can't we do option A4? You stand on the line to contest election. If you are defeated by your opponent, within 30 minutes, you know you are defeated. Why are we deceiving ourselves? What this type of complacency? Why are we pretending as if to say we are advanced country? We are not an advanced country. And we continue to mess up. Humphrey Nwosu, I demand here, should be given Grand Commander of Federal Republic of Nigeria, the exponent of Option A4, an agile born Anambrarian. Tell them what they did for Abiola, they should extend it to Humphrey Nwosu as quickly as possible. Is it because an Igbo man, they want to use another marginalization format? Humphrey Nwosu should be given Grand Commander of Federal Republic of Nigeria. I'm telling you, he was the person who devised this system. Without devising this system, they would have used this card reader. Abiola wouldn't have won the election. And they're giving Abiola most award. Let them give Humphrey Nwosu. Humphrey Nwosu is alive. Let him be celebrated. And that day, if he's in Abuja, I will go there and stand with him.
Can we pick this caller? Hello.
Pick the call.
Hello. Good evening. Your name and location. Go ahead. What's your name and location?
My name is Joseph. I'm calling from Amobia.
Joseph from Amobia.
My name is Joseph. I'm calling from Amobia.
Okay, Joseph Amobia. Go ahead. Ask your question or make your contribution. Go ahead, Joseph.
All right. My question is this.
Yeah.
According to legal practitioner, you said there are many sorts of immunity that exist in Nigeria.
Yes.
My question is this. We as a common man in the street, where do we fall to enjoy our own immunity? Because looking at Nigeria, I don't see where common man in the street has immunity.
Okay,
So
okay.
I want to know, where we fall into difficulty.
You want to know if at all a common man has immunity or any place they have some rights to enjoy?
Well, as I stated before, constitutionally, only certain class of people enjoys immunity in Nigeria, but informally, we are not saying that those types of immunities are lawful, but informally, there are all manner of unlawful immunity depending on your status in life. So for a common man, of course, it seems that there is no form of immunity for them. But the unfortunate thing about the situation is, even when you think as a common man that your rights and fundamental rights have been violated, when you approach the court for the enforcement of your fundamental human rights, you find out that those who are enjoying these informal immunities may use their status in the country to frustrate your move. So you find out that a common man has no hope at all in this country.
That's okay. We have a lot of callers. Hello, 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 hello.
Hello.
Your name and location?
Yes, Bartha Joseph on the line.
Come again.
I'm reaching you from Okahi.
What's your name? Come again with your name.
I say Bartha Joseph.
Barrister.
Okay, Barrister Joseph, go ahead and ask.
Yes.
Go ahead with your question, Barrister.
Discuss in the studio.
Yeah.
Yes, the point is that Nigeria is a terrible country.
Yeah.
And we will continue to talk. When you talk of immunity, like the Barrister rightly said, some people are unnecessarily enjoying immunity because of their status in the society. And we just have to deal with them. Then coming to the postponement of them, like the prof rightly said, the INEC in initial stage, we are not ready for this election. They continue to pretend as if all is well, while all is not well.
They just frustrated Nigerians last weekend. But I just want to appeal to Nigerians that they have to go back again and they elect their leaders. We should forget about what INEC did last Saturday, because we said it even before them. They had the intention. They continue to deny it up till very late Saturday morning. So I want to tell Nigerians they should go back and say elect their leaders. Thank you.
Thank you, Barrister Angante. I don't know if we should pick this caller. Hello, hello. 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 Prof.
Right there.
Nigeria is on the edge of civil disaster. Very clear. Of course, anarchy, very close. As democracy have been raped and continue to be raped. Because in political parties, we hear of the rape of democracy. When it comes to the general electorate again, there is this rape of democracy. People's mandates are denied them. The electorate's result thwarted. So I want you to say something about this. Nigeria on the edge of civil disaster and anarchy, and democracy have been randomly raped. What's your comment on this?
It's unfortunate. Nigeria is fast inviting or carrying ant-infested woods, of which lizards will be their guests. Let me tell you, if you invite anarchy, you will see anarchy. Because this is a country that is supposed to have sensible leadership, proactive leadership. And if you have proactive leadership, you will be very conscious of the actions you take. You cannot continue to take people for granted. You cannot wake up every morning and start telling people nonsense or telling people rubbish, and you want us to accept it, line and sinker. It is not practically possible. Nigeria should have the principles and the sense of disaster preventions. All over the world, every reasonable nation, every developed nation has principles of disaster preventions. If you don't have principles of disaster prevention, disaster will meet you. If you think you can ride roughshod on everybody, if you think you can take us for granted, if you think because you have been marginalizing us, you can marginalize us always, what of the day we say no? If we say no, will it work? Whether you are the commanding of the whole world, whether you are the commanding of the whole planet in the whole world, and we say no today, what are you going to do? You cannot move ahead. You can't go anywhere. Because if you go and brew violence, you go and brew anarchy, based on your narrative that you are the owner of Nigeria, you are causing problem.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, louder. Your name and
Hello?
location. Your name and location.
Hello?
Hello, I'm hearing you. What's your name and location?
My name is John.
John from where?
John.
From where are you calling, John?
From Cuba.
Okay, briefly ask your question. Ask your question, there's no time. Okay, in summary, we have an elder here, Council. I think I and you will quickly agree to this. Professor, I want you to talk to Nigerians on what they are supposed to do and know as regards the forthcoming rescheduled election on Saturday, because after that, we're going to come to a close.
Precisely. I will ask our people, I will ask every Nigerian who has come out, who decides to vote for Nigeria, to come out. Vote for your own candidate. Vote for the candidate you think that will move Nigeria to the next level. I am an apolitical person. I'm not talking about any party. I am telling you, come out. Vote through your conscience. Do not collect money from anybody. If you collect money, you have mortgaged a generational thing. Your children and your grandchildren future are mortgaged. Don't collect money from anybody. Come out and vote. Mobilize others to come and vote. Even if they postpone it again, on any day it is time, we'll come down and vote. Vote. Vote through your conscience. Don't collect money. And mobilize others. Make sure that people come out next Saturday. Let us go there. If their mother dies again, they will give us another date. And when they give us another date, we will still come and vote. They will never run away.
Thank you.
Because they have taken more than 200 and something billion of Nigerian money. They must conduct this election, and it must work. If it doesn't work, we'll continue until we force them to make it work.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Dear esteemed viewer, this is where we draw the curtain on our today's edition of Citizens and the Law. It has been Nigerian democracy and the rule of law, and with me here in the studio who have done actually very well to ensure the progress of this program today. I have Professor Peter Mekakachi, gold medalist FCAI, national president of NACAMA, and vice president of Red Cross, humanitarian and political analyst. Prof, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
And also, I want to extend my sincere gratitude to Barrister Chika Okeke, a legal gentleman. Also, I want to thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much.
And also, I extend my sincere appreciation to all the callers who called us today. Jude Mascot to Biagwi is my name, the presenter of this program. Next Monday, we are coming back with yet another interesting edition of Citizens and the Law. Until then, it's bye.